You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Bold and the Beautiful fans. It is Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I have a question for you guys. Is Bill Spencer really Luna Nozawa's secret daddy? So we've all been wondering exactly who is Luna's father. All we know is that her mother, Poppy Nozawa, was a bit free with her body back in the day. Remember, her sister Lee Finnegan raged at both Poppy and Luna about her sister's bad behavior. But now it seems like Bill Spencer is in the mix, and here's why he could be Luna's long-lost daddy. We're going to talk about it. If you haven't already, please click subscribe so you don't miss any of our updates. All right, so Monday's episode of Bold and the Beautiful saw Bill Spencer at Il Giardino bickering with Sheila Carter. And then across the restaurant, he saw Poppy having lunch with Luna, and he had this very interesting reaction. The spoiler had said he was going to have an interesting reaction basically to Sheila, the way that it was written, but it wasn't anything to do with Sheila. So Bill was kind of drawn to their table, so he marches right over there, and he's trying to figure out how he knows Poppy. Luna didn't seem to be the focus of his attention at all. As a matter of fact, he was kind of standing beside her and looking at her mother, not really paying much attention to her, which is kind of interesting. So Bill comes over and he's looking at her and he says, "I couldn't help but notice you from across the restaurant." And Poppy says, "That's sweet, but I'm having lunch with my daughter." And Bill's quick to say, "Oh, no, I'm not, kind of implying I'm not hitting on you." And he says, "You just look really familiar to me. Do we know each other?" So Bill was making clear he didn't come over to hit on Poppy, but only to satisfy his curiosity, because it was, you know how it is when you see somebody, it's like, "Where do I know you from?" So Poppy's reaction to Bill's question was very, very interesting. I'm going to show you a screenshot. See her face all sucked in like that? She is clearly annoyed. So on one hand, she could be annoyed because she thinks this rando dude is hitting on her when she's just trying to have a nice lunch with her daughter, but I really doubt it. To me, it looks more like a visceral reaction of annoyance and maybe being offended by him. So that has me suspecting that Poppy was one of Bill Spencer's many lovers from his very sordid past. Remember, Bill's already got 2 kids that he didn't know about until they turned up as adults and introduced themselves. Recall Liam Spencer and Wyatt Spencer were both children who showed up grown after he'd bedded their moms a couple of decades before, and the moms didn't seem to want him in their kids' lives. And there was also a question for a hot minute, if I remember correctly, that maybe he had also sired Felony Flo Fulton. I'm trying to remember, maybe you guys remember, drop in the comments. I'm trying to remember if he had suspected he might be a dad, because at one point maybe he'd been a bed buddy of Shauna Fulton's as well. It's been a few years, so I'm a little fuzzy on that, because Shauna's gone on, it doesn't really matter anymore. But right now, it seems that there's a chance that Bill could have impregnated Poppy Nozawa and promptly forgot they hooked up, 19 or 20 years ago, judging by the kid's age, because she's still in college. Dollar Bill Spencer seems to have sprayed sperm like a garden hose sprinkler on a lot of women. He cannot keep it in his pants and apparently never met a condom that he liked, So yeah, it's totally plausible that Bill's might be another bad decision from Poppy's past. Oh gosh, and if he is, you can bet that Lee Finnegan is going to be furious if Bill is the mystery man who knocked up her baby sister. Not furious at Bill, furious at Poppy. And it would probably cement her very low opinion of Poppy. And then there's a very enticing spoiler related to this storyline coming soon. Official bold spoilers for the week of November 27th tell us that secrets about Poppy and Luna's past emerge. So not just Poppy's past, Poppy and Luna's past. And the only big secret that, as far as I can tell, is the question of who is Luna's father? Who's her bio dad? We know she doesn't know whoever this guy is. She didn't grow up around her dad, and she doesn't seem to have a clue about his identity. Remember, she talked to RJ this week about how much she loved the fact that her mother is such a free spirit, and that's exactly the loosey-goosey lifestyle that infuriates her buttoned-up doctor sister Lee so very much. So let's consider what it means for both Luna and Bill if he's the one who sperminated Poppy Nozawa. That would make Luna the secret half-sister of both Wyatt and Liam. It would also put her in line as a future heir to the Spencer Publications fortune, and it would make her an aunt to both Kelly and Beth Spencer, which would cement her ties to the Forresters and the Logans because Steffi and Hope are the moms of Kelly and Beth. That would also mean that Lee Finnegan really has no right to try and run Luna off of Forrester Creations or run Poppy out of town. So I feel like this is likely where this storyline is going. It would be particularly interesting to see the Spencer stallion suddenly saddled with a daughter that he never knew about and never met. It seems, of course, that Bill's bad bedroom habits prevented him from sticking around long enough to find out who he'd knocked up, which of course includes Wyatt and Liam and Luna's mother, maybe. And that means, of course, he missed out on raising them. The only kid that Bill has been around for is Will Spencer, his son with Katie Logan. And that also means that Will has got a new big sister if it does play out this way. Of course, that's an if. I'm not saying it's a spoiler. We're just having a conversation about where this storyline might go and what these spoilers might mean. Given Bill's immediate draw to Poppy and her very negative and instant reaction to him approaching them and asking, "Where do I know you from?" It feels like that's what's happening. She looked like she was sucking on a lemon and wanted the floor to open up and swallow that guy. And that seemed like too big of a reaction for the idea that he might have been hitting on her. So what do you guys think? Did you notice the immediately weird vibe between Bill and Poppy? Do you think they're about to tie Luna to the Spencers? And how weird is it, by the way, if they've decided to add a new Spencer daughter after having just written out a Spencer son, Bill's son, Wyatt Spencer? Very interesting, right? Hey, if you haven't already, please reach down, click subscribe so you don't miss any of our bold updates. Definitely drop your comments below. I read them all. I love talking soaps with you guys. And I'm here talking bold 7 days a week with you. This has been Belinda from Soap Dirt. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.